Okay, boys and girls, we're going to continue our work with envisioning. And if you remember yesterday, during our mini lesson, we closed our eyes and we listened to the sounds in the classroom. And then we discussed the things that we heard. And we noticed that even though our eyes were closed, we heard those noises and we were able to envision in our mind what was going on. We actually saw somebody kick the desk. We actually saw somebody walking across the room when we heard their footsteps. We imagined that the air was coming out of the vent when we could hear the air conditioner. Today we're going to do another activity that's going to help us to envision. Remember, envision. Get a picture in your head. Okay, the first part of this is for you to share your analogy. Everybody wrote in their notebook, an overstuffed suitcase is like a, and then you are supposed to finish that analogy. When I call your name, I need you to read your sentence that's in your journal, starting with an overstuffed suitcase. Read the whole thing. Now, the idea here is not to comment and not to react, but just to have the next person share what their analogy is and see what is in your mind. See what you are envisioning. Okay, Ahmed, could you say yours, please?
An overstuffed suitcase could be a box that has something inside of it.
Okay, an overstuffed suitcase is like a box that has things inside of it. Nicholas?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a fat elephant and you never know when it's going to barf.
Davian?
Like an
Yeah.
overstuffed suitcase. It's like opening a suitcase and you have the
Opening a suitcase and there are other suitcases inside. Caden?
jar of feelings waiting.
An overstuffed suitcase.
An overstuffed suitcase is like a jar of feelings waiting to be opened.
A jar of feelings waiting to be open. Aurora?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a heavy metal that is going to be hard to move.
Okay, I heard a heavy what?
Metal that is going to be hard to move.
A heavy metal that is hard to move. Kendall?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a gasoline tank overfilled and you never know when it's going to explode.
Okay, a gasoline tank that is overfilled and you never know when it's going to explode. Johan?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a overblown balloon and you don't know when it will pop.
Okay, Aniela?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a bunch of feelings waiting to be felt.
A bunch of feelings waiting to be felt. Braden?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a crab stuck in a small shell.
A crab stuck in a small shell. Emma?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a suitcase full of bricks and you don't know when it's going to break.
Of bricks, is that what you said? A suitcase full of bricks. Ahmed H?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a bomb that is going to explode.
What's going to explode? A ball?
A bomb.
A bomb that's going to explode. Vincent?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a closet that has so much clothes that can blow away in a second.
Okay, a closet that has so many clothes inside of it that it could blow open at any second. Anthony's absent. Carly?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a bag of popcorn. You never know when the kernels will start to pop.
You never know when the kernels in the bag of popcorn will start to pop. Divine?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a soda bottle. When you shake it, you never know when the cap will pop.
Okay, did you hear what you said? Did you hear her back there, Aurora? She said it's like a soda bottle with the cap on. When you shake it, and you never know when it's going to go? When the soda is going to pop out. Okay, let's see. Pablo?
An overstuffed suitcase is like an elephant and a mouse, and you never know when the elephant will stop on the mouse.
We never know when the elephant will stop on the mouse. Yelini? Or Yelni?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a suitcase full of bad feelings.
A suitcase full of bad feelings. Moises?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a flood that you don't know when it's going to burst out.
What?
It's like a flood that
Oh, a flood. Okay, a flood that you don't know when it's going to burst out. Okay, Jonah?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a box that is just so heavy you can't carry.
You You can't carry it? A box that is so heavy you can't carry it anymore? Giselle.
An overstuffed suitcase that has a lot of clothes and you never know when it's going to open.
You never know when it's going to open. It has so many clothes in it, you never know when it's going to open. William P.
Overstuffed suitcase is like a game that you want and you don't know if you're going to get it.
A game? Okay, a game that you want and you don't know if you're going to get it. Sophia.
An overstuffed suitcase is like a piece of paper you're writing on it. You never know when it's going to rip.
Okay, you never know when that paper you're writing on is going to rip. Ellie.
An overstuffed suitcase is like a bubble gum. You never know when it's going to pop.
Like bubble gum? Oh, okay, like bubble gum, you never know when it's going to pop. Gabriella.
An overstuffed suitcase is like an open box of butterflies. You never know when they fly away.
Oh, an open box of butterflies, you never know when they're going to fly away. Isabella?
An overstuffed suitcase is like a box that would close, then you finally get it to close, but you never know it's going to pop.
Okay, so you finally get it to close, but you don't know when it's going to pop. Blake.
An overstuffed suitcase is like a bag that has overweighted items, putting pressure to the bottom, and you'll never know when the items would fall.
Okay, so like a bag full of heavy items, and you never know when the bottom is going to break out of it. Okay. Laura.
An overstuffed suitcase is like a tiger in a box. You'll never know when it gets out.
What is in it?
Tiger.
Oh, a tiger in a box, and you never know when it's going to jump out. Isabel.
An overstuffed suitcase is like a bag of potatoes full, but trying to fit more.
A bag of what?
Potatoes.
Potatoes, and you're trying to fit more in it? Okay, all right. Okay, so that's the first analogy. And now we're going to kind of move on to the next step, which was the second question I asked you to respond to. And it says, you are a tiger locked in a cage in the middle of the woods. How do you feel? And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to call your name, and you're going to tell me a feeling that you have as this tiger in the cage in the middle of the woods. And again, we're not going to discuss, we're not going to react, but we are going to just provide our answer. It is okay, guys, if you have the same words. I actually am quite amazed that from all of you in this classroom, there's 32 of you, that not one of you had the very same thing for the analogy. That was pretty impressive. Okay, so we'll go backwards this time. Isabel, how do you feel?
I was a tiger locked up in a cage in the middle of the woods. I would feel rage and sadness.
You feel rage and sadness. Okay, Laura? You can just say that whatever you put down is the feelings this time.
I would feel scared and
Scared and alone. Blake?
I would feel imprisoned, having a life sentence where nobody would find me.
Okay. Imprisoned, and then I missed the other part.
Having a life sentence where nobody would find me.
Oh, a life sentence where nobody would find you. Isabella?
I would feel scared because the darkness is scary.
Scared because the darkness is scary. Gabriella?
I would feel like a slave with no freedom.
Oh, slave with no freedom. Very nice. Ellie?
I would feel scared and alone.
Scared and alone. Sophia?
I would feel depressed and angry.
Depressed and angry. William?
I would feel starved.
Starved. Giselle?
Lonely.
Lonely. Jonah?
Bored.
Bored. Moises?
I feel angry, furious, and want to destroy everything in my way.
Angry, fierce, and wanting to destroy everything in your way. Yelmi?
I would feel
Scared
scared and alone.
and alone. Pablo?
I would feel stuck in prison forever.
Stuck in prison forever. Divine?
I feel like I would be trapped in the world.
Trapped from the world. Carly?
I would feel hungry, lonely, scared, and weak.
Wait a minute. Hungry, lonely,
Scared
and weak. Okay. Anthony is absent. Vincent?
I would feel angry, unhappy, and miserable.
Angry, unhappy, and miserable. Ahmed H.
I'd feel very angry and starving and and bored.
Okay, angry, starving, and bored. Emma,
I would feel scared and lonely wanting to get out.
scared, lonely, and wanting to get out. Braden,
I would feel like I don't belong and afraid and alone.
you don't belong, afraid, and alone. Aniela,
I would feel alone and wanting to get out.
alone and wanting to get out. Johan,
Stressed and depressed and wanting to burst through the cage.
okay. Kendall,
I would feel lonely, angry, sad, and maybe even feel dark and gloomy.
okay. What were the last two?
Dark and gloomy.
Dark and lonely. Aurora,
I would feel sad and alone.
sad and alone. Caden,
I would feel trapped.
trapped. Antonio,
I would feel scared, alone, and want someone to get me out of the cage and let me free.
okay. Davian,
Starved, thirsty,
starved and thirsty,
sad.
and sad. Nicholas,
I would feel scared. I would feel scared because I would think one of those creatures from Stranger Things would get me, and I would anger myself to sleep.
okay. All right. Ahmed, okay. Mad, alone, and try to break out. Okay. All right. So now we're going to be thinking about something else that we have in our story. Okay. And remember, the idea, guys, is for you to envision. Think about the images in your head when we did the suitcase. Think about the images in your head when we talked about the tiger. So now we're going to think about rain. Okay, rain. So the statement is, rain is both depressing and hopeful. How is this so? And I'm just going to call on a couple of people. Actually, if you raise your hand, if you'd like to share what you wrote. Rain is both depressing and hopeful. Ellie.
Depressing, you can't. It is depressing because you can't stay outside and you have nothing to do. It'll be hopeful because if you have no water in the globe, you'll be happy with rain.
Okay, so depressed because you can't go outside and play, but hopeful because if you have a water shortage, you will have the water that you need. Braden?
It would be depressing because you couldn't go out and do anything. It would be hopeful because of all the plants it waters.
All the plants that it would water. Okay, Antonio?
The depressing, it could turn out to be a flash flood and someone could drown. And hopeful also because every drop can help grow a plant to feed the people in need.
Okay, so depressing because it could cause a flood and someone could drown, but hopeful because it could feed the plants, okay? Something different that you haven't heard yet. Kendall?
Rain is dark and gloomy.
Okay, you're going to have to speak louder. I can't hear you, honey.
Rain is dark and gloomy, and also rain makes things grow.
Okay, so it's dark and gloomy, sort of like it is today, right? It's kind of gray out there today, but it also helps to make plants grow. Moises?
It waters your grass, but it's like lightning and burn down a tree.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, I see what you mean. If it's a storm, it's depressing because it could be destructive. And what was the thing about it being hopeful?
It would water grass.
Water your grass and your plants. Okay. Isabel.
Rain is depressing because you can't stay outside,
Excuse me.
but it is also hopeful.
Can you hear what she's saying? You can't because you're talking. So I need you to listen. Could you start again? I'm sorry they were rude to you.
Rain is depressing because you can't stay outside, but it is also hopeful because it helps the plants grow.
Okay, so listen carefully. Don't raise your hand if one of the things that you have already heard said is the same as yours. We're trying to get a variety of things that have not been said yet. Nicholas.
Rain is depressing because you can't go anywhere to get stuff for parties or anything, and people can't come to your party. And it's hopeful to see a rainbow.
Okay, to see a rainbow. Ahmed.
It's depressing because maybe somebody could get all wet and stuff.
It's depressing because it could make you all wet.
Yeah. It's helpful because they can grow a plant such as a tree.
Okay, you can grow plants and trees. Carly?
Rain is depressing because the rain can make you feel sad and lonely, and rain is hopeful because you can hope for it to stop raining and this will change.
Okay. All right, so we're going to stop there. Now, hopefully, this exercise has helped you to kind of think about a lot of things and see a lot of images in your head. And today, what we're going to do while I read to you from our book, The Tiger Rising by Kate DiCamillo, you're going to hopefully be able to